What do you do when you land your dream job in Europe, but the system keeps you locked out for 6 months? Today, we are joined by a guest who has navigated a global journey from Pakistan to the United States and finally to Germany. But his story isn't just about career moves and job rotations, it's a story of extreme resilience. From fighting a battle against the German driving authorities after being accused of cheating to enduring a heartbreaking family reunion delay that has kept his wife thousands of miles away. This episode uncovers the raw, unpolished reality of the German dream. We are also diving deep into a candid conversation about identity. How does Germany perceive the South Asian professional? And do the borders between India and Pakistan still exist when you are an expat in a German office? This is a guide for the modern nomad. Let's get started. Hi Tala, welcome to Parathas&Schnitzel.
Hello, Arshid. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's a pleasure of me as well. Let's start from the beginning. You started your masters in the United States, as they say, the land of the American dream, and then you switched over to Germany to do your job, to look for a job. What made you switch over to Germany instead of staying in the States and continue there looking for a job?
Yeah. So basically, I moved to US on a scholarship, which is actually called a Fulbright scholarship.
Okay.
This is basically a US Senate scholarship that's being offered to the countries who are actually affected by the wars that has been fought by US on these countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, and
Okay.
Pakistan is also one of these countries
Okay.
which is being affected by the war or terrorism. And this is basically a scholarship that is offered every year, and then there's only 50 to 60 people across Pakistan are selected.
Okay.
So I basically applied for it. Alongside, you also have to apply for the universities in US. So you have to give the like GRE and TOEFL, and then secure your admission. And once you secure your admission, you have to apply for the scholarship. So fortunately, I was fortunate enough that I got the admission into one of the universities in the East Coast called North Carolina State University. Sorry. And there I actually applied for afterwards for the scholarship. So I actually got the fully funded scholarship. So I have to not pay a single penny for the tuition fee. That was actually very helpful for me.
That's
because
a very good relief, yeah. I can
exactly,
imagine.
because US universities are how expensive they
Exactly.
are. They're a nightmare, and you get under so much burden of student loans. So I got that scholarship which covered all my tuition fee. So that was a relief. So that led me to go to United States to study for my masters. And basically I did my masters in electrical power engineering alongside with like slight understanding of power trading. That was basically the motivation to go towards US. And having said that, as you earlier mentioned about the land of the free and the American dream, it was an amazing experience overall, if you ask me. When I first time moved there, coming from a country like Pakistan, which is like very rigid in their beliefs, there is a very strong opinion about United States there. You go to the United States and you found out that how diverse, how attractive, full of opportunity it is. Then you go to the student campuses and you see how much diversification is there, ranging from like India, China, South America, Europe, and then there is so many different cultures you can experience within a single country. It never feels like that you are in United States, which is a secluded country of its own. You feel like you are in a country which has multiple countries within it. So yeah, that was an amazing experience. And at the same time, when I was there, I was also experiencing this US university educational experience, which is talked about. It's very hardcore. You have to struggle a lot. There is a big amount of stress on you that you have to get the grades. As I haven't studied in Germany, so you might, because you studied in Germany, you might understand that in Germany the master's program is a little different from the US.
Yes, exactly.
In US, you have to be very strict with the courses you take, and the timeline is very strict that you have to complete it within 18 to 24 months. So I have to get it done within that time frame because my funding was only for 24 months.
Okay.
So that was actually a bit of a stress at that time. So I have to keep my coursework very strict, on point, get my grades done.
Yeah.
And having said that, when I was doing that, it was the COVID times. The last year was COVID time. So it was also adding further pressure. But overall, if you ask me to sum up my whole journey in the United States, it would one of the very new, exciting, eye-opening experience for me, which gave me a perspective towards globalization, towards diversification, acceptance about other beliefs, other people, other cultures, and at the same time also led me to a variety of opportunities which I think would be very difficult to get if I was in Pakistan.
So after you graduated, you moved back to Pakistan.
No, I have not. Actually, I fortunately got a job offer when I was in my last semester, which was in the time of like peak COVID situation in May 2020. But that's another story, that how that job actually created a lot of panic for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then when did you decide, or why did you decide that, okay, now it's time for me to look for jobs in Germany?
Yeah, it's a great question. So as I mentioned already, that I was in scholarship, which was offered by the US Senate. So basically that scholarship has only one restriction on it, which it says that because we are giving you like fully funded a trip, and we are giving you like a free pass.
Okay.
The aim of that scholarship is culturally promoting US in those countries where the image of US is not that good.
Oh,
so they want you to go back to your country
Understand.
and be an ambassador of the US.
Okay.
So I was not allowed to work in US for 2 years. So I have to spend 2 years somewhere else, and then I can come back and work in US.
Okay.
So I only have two options. Either I go for PhD and complete my PhD, and then again go back, spend 2 years in somewhere and come back to US. Or I get the jobs anywhere in the world. So I started looking jobs in like Canada, Dubai, UK, Germany actually was not on my list. And Pakistan as well. But the company which I applied for, it's so interesting story that I'm talking to an Indian here and I actually ended up in Germany because of an Indian student in my class. Because one of my student in my class used to do a thesis for this company, which was my first company in Germany. And he gave a presentation. And he said there is some job opportunities in this company, the US office of that company. Given that everybody in that class can apply for that company because they can work in US, I cannot. So I just checked the website and I found out there is a graduate trainee program of that company, which is global, which is based in UK and Germany. So my idea was, okay, there is no harm in applying. Let's just apply. And I wanted to end up in UK rather than in Germany. So I was like, if I get selected, I'll choose UK as the destination.
Understood.
But the journey was so interesting that I end up in Germany.
That's very, very interesting to know how things end up where you do not expect at all, right? So Tala, you applied for the German company, you got the offer, right? But you could not join the company physically in the campus, and you had a delay for about 6 months before you could join them. There were some visa issues. So how was this situation for you? How was this relationship with your employer back then? How did you deal with that?
Yeah, it was difficult. Yeah, it was a tough time. As I mentioned earlier, it was the COVID times when I got the job, June 2021, something like that. And the funny fact was, now I can say it funny, but at that time I was very scared that I first tried to get the visa from the US, the German consulate in US. But the problem was my visa of US was about to expire. It was just 1 month left. So the German consulate in US was not willing to give me visa, and at the same time they were closed because of the COVID restrictions. So they asked me to go back to my country. And at that time, the whole world was at stop. There was no flights. Everything was shut down. And no flights were working. No commercial airlines were working. So I was in a very bad situation at that time, thinking about what can happen. Can I go back to how can I be able to go back to my country? How can I secure a visa? And the starting date was, I think, September 1st, 2021. So I had only 3 months to get that sorted. So the good thing about German employer, and I think that is very German thing. I think it would not be the same if it was a British or a US employer. That they were very helpful. They were very understanding. They understood my circumstances. They understood the circumstances of the world. That it is going to be difficult to get visa at this time of COVID, peak COVID, and then they asked me, just try to sort it out.
Okay.
And we can give you extension of like 3 months. Earlier, they only said that they will be giving me an extension of 3 months.
Okay.
So I took like repatriation flights at that time that were working. So the national airline of my country, I think if the people in India knows, or maybe people in Pakistan heard about it, it's called PIA. It's called
Okay,
Pakistan
yeah, yeah.
International Airlines. And it's kind of the scary ones. They have quite a lot of air crashes and everything. So they sent one flight all the way to New Jersey, Newark Airport.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And it was a non-stop flight from New Jersey all the way to Lahore. So
Okay.
it's a 19-hour flight in an airline which you don't trust.
Okay.
So it was quite funny, and at the same time scary, because all of us in there were students, or I would say students or business people, all Pakistanis who wanted to go back home because of the visa restrictions, because our visas were expired. So that airline journey was an experience of 19 hours sitting in an airplane which you don't trust fully 100%, and at the same time traveling 19 hours in air it's kind of a pain. But then I reached back home, and then I contacted the German consulate in Pakistan.
Okay.
They were like, no mate, we can't help you because of the current COVID situation. The embassy is closed.
Okay.
So I reached out to my employer. They were understanding. They were they were very clear with me that just let us know when the embassy can open at the earliest.
Okay. Okay.
So fortunately, in the first 3 months of the extension I was given, the embassy got open and I submitted my application.
Okay, that's nice.
So then the processing started. And at that time I was thinking, okay, my deadline is about to end. They will just cancel my contract.
Okay.
And there was one time when the HR reached out to me that thinking about they can cancel my contract.
Okay.
But I plead my case in a very nicer way. They were very nice people. As I said, the German people are very considerate. So they asked me, okay, the max they can do is 6 months. Because you might know that the graduate training programs here have rotational programs. So every rotation lasts 6 months. So they were willing to give me my first rotation off.
Okay.
Given that I can start in March 1st of the following year. So that's where I had like the deadline. And you can say now, if I look at in the past, it sounds to me as funny, or you can say very fortunate that my deadline was 1st of March and I got my visa on 21st of February.
Oh, that's close. That's close. Yeah.
So 9 days before, and I flew right after that, like right away. And I remember the first person I contacted was you when I reached here, and it was like 1st of March. The 1st of March I was in Germany, landed here.
Yeah.
And at that time, the restrictions was if you come in Germany after like in the COVID times, you have to do quarantine for 14 days. You cannot go outside. So that was altogether a different journey itself. But to conclude your question, I would say the German employers have this distinctive difference from the other places I've worked with, that they were considerate.
Okay. So even though, let's say you were a ghost employee for the company, they were considerate enough to extend your joining date, considering your situation, considering the circumstances the world was in, and considering the consulate was not open.
Exactly. And I would say it's kind of a blessing in disguise that COVID was there. It was an alibi for me. But at the same time, I believe so. If it wasn't COVID even, they would be considerate. That's my understanding of the way they talk to me.
That's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tala, you got your visa, you flew here, you joined the company, and you saw the German working culture firsthand. You're still working in a German company, right? And during your graduate trainee, you did some rotations also in the UK, right? And I think you were there for about a year or so. That's what you told me.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us? What do you feel the difference is, or what were your observations between the English work culture and the German work culture?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Actually, yeah, within my first 6 months, I was asked that now I have to go to UK to do my rotations. And as you said, I was there for 1 year.
Okay.
And I did like rotations in 2 different cities. One was in London and one in another town, if the people have heard this name, called Swindon, in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
But that 2 experiences was totally different.
Okay.
So I would start with London. London gave me the vibe that I'm back in States.
Okay.
It's kind of the same vibe.
Okay.
Multicultural, diversification, very open-minded and warm people. I would just relate to that when I first came to Essen in Germany, where my company was, I first time had the experience of German culture. Never been in
Yeah.
Germany, never had an experience of Germans. So it hit me as a cold people's culture. The people are very not as warm as the people of other countries are. And it's nothing wrong in it. After living here for 5 years, I understand now the culture itself. But when the first time you come as
Yeah,
an
yeah.
expat, it hits you.
Okay.
And there is no Uber. There was no Uber at that time here, and in that city, and I was confused how to get by to my space, my my home, or the apartment I was living in, and this was nuances that hit me in Germany. But as I said, within 6 months I was asked to go to UK in London, and then you went into London, and the life is back to like the way you supposed to be.
You were
It is-
familiar with.
yeah, it's easy. It's very, the small things are not annoying you. The bureaucracy, the kind of like the German language, it's basically English language. Everything
Yeah.
is back to normal. So I was very feeling at home.
Okay.
That was one thing, and then the work culture itself, I felt the difference.
Okay.
Yeah. If I now compare after spending like 4 years in Germany, and I compare it with the time in UK, I can very easily say that in that time, I felt that the work culture here is a bit more relaxed.
Okay.
People know what they want to do. The employers know what they want to have from the employee.
Okay.
And then there is no hard lines that you have to do. Like you have to come in the office at 8 o'clock and you have to check out at 6 o'clock. There's no such thing in Germany. Germany is very goal driven. People know their objectives. People know their what they have to achieve in their job, and they're very relaxed in it. They achieve that in their own pace,
Okay.
and at the same time they're not micromanaged or anything like that. Given that in UK it was a bit of a difference,
Okay.
because I felt that in UK you are in a capitalistic world. That's also like it's very similar to States, like you are in a capitalistic environment. Because I was working in a trading company, and it was the banking sector area where our office was. So everybody you can see there is kind of in a rush. They are, like you say, this corporate cats or stuff like that. People dressed up in in suits and trying to be in the go to their bank in the morning 8 o'clock, just put on the crunch of this numbers, make money. So very very finance bro kind of environment you felt there. So that was one difference I said there. And then that kind of environment also puts an additional pressure on you that you have to achieve.
You try to mingle in. Yeah.
Exactly. You have to achieve. You have to be in that zone. So that was a kind of a, you can say, negative connotation a little bit, but I would not put it that much, because it's every country has their own work ethics and work culture. But on the positive side, as I mentioned, the polar opposite of Germany is the people are very loud, very open, very warm. So if you want to talk to someone, even though they are higher ups in hierarchy, you don't feel that there is a barrier or a wall there that you need to jump. It feels like you're talking to a mate.
I guess the language also helps.
Exactly.
English being their language. Yeah.
Exactly. The language helps a lot, because here you always think which language I'm gonna talk to person, and what is the culture here. And at that time, I didn't know fully the German culture itself. So in UK, you know already what kind of culture it is. So that was also very helpful in terms of talking to people. So that helped me a lot in that. And that was, like, I would say, some of the London experience. But in Swindon, yeah, it's kind of a small town. Next, I think quite close to Oxford. But yeah, when you are there, it feels middle of nowhere.
Okay.
We had an interesting journey. I used to live in a town there, which actually called the retirement village.
Okay.
So there is all the retired people in their houses, while my company, because I was placed by my company in a house. So my company selected one house in a retirement village, where a 29-year-old young guy was living in the middle of all these oldies. And then they are in the morning going for a walk while I'm running for my office. So was an interesting experience.
Wow, that sounds very interesting. Yeah. So you did your rotations in the UK and then came back to Germany. And during your working contract here in Germany, you also started to look around and you started to apply for driving license. You told me this before the podcast. This is a very funny incident, and I would definitely like our viewers to know your experience. You were accused of cheating from the driving license authority. How was that experience? What was that experience? Just please tell us about it.
It's In the hindsight, it's a funny story.
Of course, of course.
At that time, it was a nightmare. Uh, yeah, so I came back to Germany because I was just there in UK for a rotation. So I came back. I started my permanent position. I wanted to get my driving license sorted because, as you know, in Germany, people knows who lived in Germany, driving license is a nightmare.
Yes.
It's long, it's tedious, it's too
Expensive.
much expensive, bureaucratic. So every possible weird word you can think about as an expert, it's associated with
Yes, driving
driving
license.
license. So that's why people associate this with an achievement.
Yes.
So I came back and I was like, okay, couple of years in the job, first 2 years in the job, I was like, it's time to get driving license sorted. So I went to the Fahrschule, which is called, or driving schools in English. You go there. I tried to started finding like which is a good one.
Yeah.
Ask a couple of friends, got some references. Then I found this one space which was giving like a free Anmeldung or
Okay.
a free
Registration.
in English registration. So that free registration attracted me the first, and I was like, yeah, let's go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
So in August I started that, and yeah, I can talk hours about the Fahrschule itself, but let's go jump ahead. So yeah, sometimes going for free things is not a good option, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I go for the process. We went with the process, and after Anmeldung, couple of months passed by, and then I was asked to give the theory exam,
Okay.
which happens in Germany.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like 1,300 questions which you have to memorize or cram, I would say the right word, and then you go for this exam where you have to like answer 30 questions, and
Yes.
in a very tense environment where you can only get wrong like once or twice questions. That's it. So I was prepared for that. It was start of I think 24 maybe or
Okay.
25. I think 24. So I went there. I gave my exam. So not only gave my exam. So I went there. First of all, the exam was at 8 o'clock in
Okay.
a different part of the city altogether where I live.
Okay.
So it took me like 50 to 60 minutes by bus to reach there in a cold winter morning. Before the sun even rose, I was in the bus. So I was going there, I reached there, and then because as I told you, it was my early times in Germany, and at the same time I'm still am, I think, I was very bad in German.
Okay.
So I went there, I was not understanding the instructions written in German, and I was at my phone just memorizing the questions
Yes.
again and again. And then I entered into the room, and given that, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't study here, I didn't went to university here, so I don't know how the examination system here works. So I had my phone in my pocket. I
Okay.
put my phone in my pocket and I
Okay.
went in. And when I went in, there was some instructions written on the wall.
Okay.
I couldn't understand.
Okay.
I sat down. It was a computer-based test.
Okay.
So I opened the computer. I looked at it. It was a blank screen at that time. The instructor rose up, a old German pal, and he just got up, or I would say an old German grandpa. He just stand up and he gave like a 10-sentence introduction,
Okay.
which I didn't understand, obviously.
Okay.
And in that introduction, he mentioned turn off your phones.
Okay.
So because I don't have German knowledge, I did not understand that. And given that usually people speak very, very fast when they're speaking in German. So I didn't understand that, and I just kept my phone in my pocket. And then I saw the screen just went live, and the
Yeah.
exam started. So when the exam started, the first page is instructions. And because my exam was in English, because in Germany you can take the theory exam in English.
Okay.
So my exam was in English. So the first instruction was turn off your phone or any electronic items you have.
Ah. Okay.
So I had my phone and my Apple Watch on my hand. So
Okay.
I had two electronic equipments. So I was like, okay, what should I do? The mistake I made was that I don't know if it's cultural or if it's pressure. I didn't raise up my hand to ask the guy to come to me and tell him that my phone is on. I need to turn it off. I took out my phone to just turn it off. And just bear in mind, the exam has not started. I'm on the instruction page.
Yes.
So I took off my phone and I was just about to turn it off while the instructor just came to me, I would say running. And then he yelled at me, which I again didn't understand.
Okay.
So I just understand the tone. And the only word I understand was rouse, which
Okay.
means you just have to get out. And at that time, he said, "You're failed." And I did not comprehend anything. Like, why I failed? I didn't even start the exam. What is going
Yeah,
on?
that's yeah.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Exactly. And for me, at that time, I was just mesmerized by the whole situation. Not only mesmerized is the wrong word. I would say I was bewildered.
Yeah,
I was
yeah, yeah.
shocked. I was taken by a surprise. So I didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
I was traumatized, and I would never. At that time, I didn't even thought they were assuming that I'm cheating.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't know what happened. Why is he asking me to get out? So I went out, I stand outside for like 2 minutes, gathered myself, went back inside to talk to him. But he was unwilling to talk to me. His tone was in a yelling tone always, and he was unwilling to talk to me. So at that time, I just went into a shock or a trauma, and I was like, okay, this is it. I have to get out of here. I'm not able to explain my situation to him. He's not willing to listen to me. So I have to go back. So I went back, and then I talked to my Farshule,
Okay.
which as I earlier said, it's a story in itself. They didn't listen to me. They were not able to understand my side of the story. So at that time, I was like, okay, I need to fight it out, because I realized they are accusing me of cheating.
Exactly.
I have not cheated. I haven't even started the exam. So how can you accuse me of something which I have not done? And at that time, I didn't know. I thought it's just a fail. But the point came on my self-respect that they are accusing me of cheating, which is extremely unimaginable, and at least for me, it's unacceptable.
Yes.
Like, you cannot call me
Of
something
course,
which I
of
have not
course,
done.
of course.
So I felt a bit of a racism there. I felt a bit of a, you say, an expat in a world alone kind of a situation there. So it was a down moment for me. And at that time I thought, okay, this is something which is against the German values. This is not a pure, because I know how seriously Germany takes racism.
Yeah.
And I thought, if it's anything like that, I need to put my case forward.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So at that time, I decided, okay, I need to fight it out. And I have a very, very good German friends and very good German colleagues who I tell the incident, and they were with me. They were on my back, and they were like, okay, we back you. You go out there and you fight your case, and the authorities will listen. Maybe they will be slow, but they will listen. So I started writing down the emails to start the Essen, which the city I'm live, so the city of Essen. And at the same time, I started writing emails to Staatenverkehrsamt, which is the traffic office.
Okay.
They were very, very helpful, I would say. I'm very impressed by them. They were get back to me, not very slowly. They get back to me in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
They said they will investigate.
Okay.
They investigated, and they found out that I haven't started the exam.
Yes.
So as I haven't started the exam, so they were very kind enough to tell
It's
me,
not cheating
okay,
anymore.
it's not cheating, but you broke the rule.
Okay.
And I accept that.
Yes.
I broke the rule, because the rule was that your phone should be turned off.
Yes.
And as I broke the rules, there is a fine. I have to pay
Yes.
the fine
Okay.
and go on with my life.
Okay.
So I was very relieved. I was happy to give the fine, because when you break a rule in a country, I accept that you have to pay the penalty.
Yes.
No matter what kind of rules you break. And the only thing which hurt me at that time was being accused of something which I have never done.
Yes.
So that is where, when I was relinquished from that accusation, I was very happy. I paid my fine and I moved on to the next process, which was giving the theory exam again and giving the practical exam and get the driving license.
Okay. Just, I'm curious, what did you write in the email that they were willing to investigate, and they actually replied?
I basically wrote down that what is my profile. Like, I'm an expat who studied here, here, who came to this country and working in an established company. I have the ethical background. My professional and academic backgrounds gives me the credibility that I'm not going to cheat.
Okay.
For just for the theory exam to be get passed. And second argument I had there was that if they go into my exam, there is not going to be a single question attempted. If I was going to cheat, why would I not have attempted a single question,
Makes
not even
sense.
started the exam? So they were understanding that the situation is, in a scenario I'm explaining, is kind of like that.
Okay.
And the mistake which I made, they were telling me that you cannot turn on the phone. It's written, they said it's written on the walls. It's been announced by the invigilator, and also it's actually written on the practice exams on their website. So mistake was mine that I didn't read that in advance.
Okay.
Or maybe a bit of my Fahrschule that they didn't tell me in their app. But again, you can put fingers very easily, but you have to accept the mistake you have done. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a very learning experience. Like you said, even if your driving school is offering free classes or free registration, doesn't mean there's always a catch. There's always a catch.
Yeah, true.
But it's a very good story for anybody out there who is currently in the process of getting a driving license. What to be prepared mentally,
Exactly.
and what not to be.
Yeah, if I can just say to the people who are trying to get driving license sorted,
Yeah,
first of all, be very careful in anything you guys go for, especially with decision of the Fahrschule, because that's the most important part.
yes.
Exams, the bureaucracy, they are standard. That's the same thing. Every city, every state,
Yeah.
everything is the same. The thing is Fahrschule. Sometimes, as an expert, we try to save couple of hundreds, and in the meantime, we pay couple of thousands more.
Yes.
So it's very unfortunate in our terms that we don't understand the difference.
Yeah, that's a very valuable lesson, Tala. Thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah.
So, Tala, first of all, I want to say congratulations. You got married back in Pakistan, right?
Thank you.
And I know it has not been an easy process, especially for your wife to get a visa on a family reunion visa so she can come here as a spouse. And it has been what now? 2 years, 2.5 years that you guys are still struggling with the documents. Would you elaborate us what has been the case so far? What were the issues? What are the issues currently? And
Yeah.
when can you or when can both of you expect to resolve this situation you guys are in?
Yeah, it's a very triggering question for me. Yeah,
Can
it's
imagine,
it's a quite of a hassle, you would say. I don't know any other word to put it in. Yeah, so we actually we got to meet each other in 2023, got engaged in 24, starred, got married in 25, to end of 25. But we have applied for visa since 23, and you can imagine it's still a journey.
Oh my God.
So in Pakistan, the German embassy is in kind of a pickle, you can say. They are not very fast in processing applications. There is too much workload. They have COVID happened, the backlog is too high. They are unable to solve the situation, and in that unable situation to solve the situation, or in that kind of workload and understaffed, or I don't know what else the problems are, they are making the lives of people in Germany, especially Pakistani expats here, who wanted to or are already married to someone in the back home, very challenging.
Yeah.
It impacts their personal life,
Of course.
leading to professional life, leading to mental peace, mental health, everything you name of. It's kind of a very difficult time for you as an expat to be in a country and not able to live with your partner, and you don't want to, but you have to manage a long distance relationship.
Yes.
So if I sum it in a couple of sentences, which is difficult itself, is that so we started this journey. There is a lot of bureaucracy. There is a lot of backlog. So they put you in a waiting list,
Okay.
which on their website states that it will take you 12 months.
Wow.
But in truth, it takes 24 months.
Okay. Shit.
So that's in itself a lie. And then afterwards, okay, then it's 24 months. And I would also say it's not only the problem on part of German embassy, but in Pakistan itself is that people just put their names in the waiting list even though they are not getting married. They are not married
Because they know of the situation.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just to minimize the risk on their side, they put themselves in advance into the waiting list so that when they get married, they are already progressed.
Understood.
So both of these things together makes the things a bit challenging. And yes, I would say that because of that, I had a very tough time in resolving that situation. I met a lawyer in Germany. I hired a lawyer. I put my case to the Berlin court, in front of the Berlin court, and and the Berlin court has stated my case to the foreign administrative office of Germany, which actually controls all the embassies across the globe. That what my situation is, how I can how I am unable to live away from my partner, and it's actually one of the Grundgesetz in Germany, which is the German legal law, a basic law, that you cannot live away from your partner for a specific amount of time, and the state cannot make that, and state has to help you to sort that out. So I think that process that was also a benefit for me. So I used lawyer to put that case up.
Because no one would expect this law to exist, right? And
Exactly.
It's a very helpful thing to know.
Exactly, and I would say that in Germany there is a lot of laws that protects you in this Grundgesetz or the other German legal laws or constitutions, but you don't know them because you don't have a legal representation. So I didn't know that. I got a lawyer. I got the legal representation. The guy told me what I can do. He put my case up against the state, or you say the German embassy. And the court heard my case. Even though the process is still slow, I would not praise it, because you already know, even if there is bureaucracy, even the courts are bureaucracies. So court and legal system is also slightly on the slower side. So that also helped us little bit, but not a lot. But overall, the process has been tedious, and I'm still hoping that it works out, because it's going, as I said, it should be 24 months. But right now it's 27 months already, and we are still trying to figure it out. And I'm hoping that this is the year we are getting to get it done with, because Germany has offered a new digital online application system for the visa, which I heard back home from that is improved the system quite a bit. So if it has improved the system, then I am very optimistic that this year could be the year that we get that sorted.
Let's hope for the best. I mean, during this time, like you said, it was very challenging for both of you. How did you guys manage to still give the confidence in each other? How did you guys manage to still keep the spark in the relationship? Because it's very tough, right?
Yeah, totally. Long distance itself is a very difficult thing to manage. No matter it's your girlfriend or it's your wife, it's a tough thing to do. So in our relationship, we try to be more like have more meetings in person, even though we are constrained by our locations. So we try to travel together. When I go back home, like Pakistan, I increase the frequency of going back. So I used to go like once a year. So I try to do like twice a year, 3 times a year, and just go there, work from there. Like this is good about some of the German companies, that they allow you to work from home for I think 3-4 weeks. So then you go there and you work from home and you live with your partner.
And home, you mean Pakistan?
Exactly. Back home means outside of Europe, and back home in Pakistan, they allow that. But it's not all companies, some companies. And then that helps me that we were spending some time together in there. Then you have to be in constant communication with each other. So you have to be good in communication, that you are keeping up all the channels of communication open, and then you talk to each other, discuss the problems with each other, travel with each other, as I earlier mentioned. These were the only things that were helping us to sort out these situations. And my wife was also working in Pakistan, so she was also not fully immersed into this problem. She had her separate life going on, which was keeping her busy to just a little bit getting you could say a space away from these kind of problems, and you have a free space in your mind that okay, these things happen, and there will be a solution of that, but you have to bear with it.
A follow-up question is coming into my mind, right? Because you have faced such difficulties, especially with this visa process with your wife, and also a bit regarding your driving license. While you were having these experiences, did you at some point have this thought that have I made a right decision to choose Germany as my current place of living and working? Is Germany, let's say, family friendly for me?
Of course, I would have this type of questions or doubts do come to your mind every time you go through a traumatic experience as an expat. You always question this in your mind, that have I made the right decision? Given that you didn't study there, it's not your first foreign country. you think, okay, have I made a right decision of coming here? Is it like I could have stayed in US, or or could have gone back to US, or I could have stayed in UK. But in these moments, I think you have to understand the pros and cons of Germany.
Yeah.
I can name both sides for my case, but I would say Germany itself, and like without doing any sugarcoating towards Germany, I think that is very valid factor that expats having a difficulty in Germany living. That is one of the reasons that Germany is either losing its expats,
Yeah.
Skilled expats who have the ability to move to other
Yes.
countries,
Yes.
or they're not able to attract the amount of expats which they need. I'm talking about skilled expats.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about anybody else. And they are not able to compete with the countries like US, or like in the recent time, like countries like Middle East, Dubai,
Yeah.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Because expats, at one level, yes, we do need the good environment, freedom of speech, great lifestyle quality, not only environmental quality, but a peace of mind and
Yeah.
freedom and everything. But at the same time, we also do need the peace of our mind, that we are not stuck in a bureaucratic process for 6 months, or a visa process of your
Yeah.
wife for 2 years. These kind of things impact your mental health a lot than
Of course,
they
of course.
are considered by someone as at a young age. At a young age, you might think, okay, these are not a big, big open-ended questions for me to
But
move
when
to a
you're
country.
trying to settle, that's a different ballgame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The questions you try to answer to yourself, if I want to live in this country at the age of 22, 25, is way different than the questions you have at 30 or 30 plus.
Yeah.
So at that time, you realize, okay, maybe this country is not for me in a long term, in the time of this traumatic experience. Or you have like open questions in your mind, what should I do in future? But as I said, some pros and cons are everywhere. I mentioned some of the cons, which are the reasons they are unable to attract like high skilled talent. And then you have the pros, and one of the biggest pros is how much they are willing to give you the freedom in terms of your work-life balance. The amount of work-life balance you have here, I mentioned it earlier in my comparison with the UK and the States, is not going to be anywhere else. It's a very relaxed environment where at the same time you're not too relaxed to let go your goals or your deadlines of the work.
Yeah, exactly.
So you are professionally competent while yet having a very very ethical or very good or very nice work-life balance. So that's one of very big pros for Germany. And at the same time, you can also state that they are also very relaxed in terms of their new nationality laws. Because that's one of the things that the people like me who are coming from Pakistan, who have not that great of a passport itself, are wanted to have that strong German or Deutsche Pass or German passport, which actually help you to have a better life, getting better jobs,
Yes.
traveling across the world. And not only that, in the event of distress, such as COVID happened in the past or any other thing, the embassy will be there for you to help, because you're the citizen of Germany, and Germany will be there to listen to you and solve your problems. While at the other countries, or not to put too much criticism on my country, but there is problems in my country where you have to struggle of getting some kind of help from your state, and the passport itself is weaker, which is why you have a lot of difficulties. Because I studied in US, so I know that how difficult it is to get a US visa on a Pakistani passport. So that all both things, or there is a lot of other couple of things that actually makes a lot of pros for Germany as well.
Okay. So in your case, you still feel like the pros outweighs the cons, at least for now. So you stand by it with the decision.
I totally agree. See that the pros are way more outnumber the cons, because as I said, in that moment when you are traumatized, when you're stressed, when you are questioning yourself, at that moment you are thinking
But I think
differently.
that's also natural.
But when you think with a peace of mind, in a calm environment, you always think that the pros outweigh the cons.
Yeah. Well, that was a very wonderful experience that you shared, Tala. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Tala, you switched companies while you were working here in Germany.
Yeah.
How was that process like? Because usually, at least in my experience, or at least what I know, Germans are very loyal and they do not like to switch to the company. it's a thing which is very frowned upon. So
Yeah.
how did your new company look like? Why did you change? Were there any challenges? Because I assume you were already comfortable in your previous company.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a new company you move in. Whenever you move to a new company, there is challenges. There is always the fear of leaving your friends and colleagues, which you are acquainted with
Yeah.
behind. So yeah, that is a question that you need to answer yourself. But with it, for my experience, what I had, so I joined this one company in Germany. I worked there for like 3.5 years, I think, or more. Had a great experience there. The company was awesome. I had a lot of colleagues, and I can say a lot of colleagues which turned out into friends. So they turn out to be my friends who I hang out with after offices, discuss life problems and general day to day problems, and we hang out for a glass of wine or like discuss over meal. It was a fun. But then the question comes is the career progression.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to think about, okay, yeah, the loyalty thing is one which is there, but then at the same time you have to think, okay, I need to grow into my career because I'm young. You are 27, 28 years old. You are into a company. You want to grow your career into a specific direction, and that direction is not you are finding in the current company.
Okay.
That's where you get a bit of questioning yourself. Okay, should I move? Should I go out? What is my ways to find that way to get to where I want to be?
Yeah.
Okay, so you start exploring new paths. That's one of the reasons where when I started looking for exciting opportunities outside.
Okay.
And then I found out an exciting opportunity in another company, and I was like, okay, this is something I can do. But at the same time, I was reluctant to move because I was, as I said, I had colleagues slash friends in the company, and at the same time, I was also, thinking about that this company is the one where I spent like 3-4 years. It's where I belong, maybe. But then I had the conversation with my new employer, and then I thought about what kind of progression I can have. And then, as I said, yes, Germany people are very loyal to their companies. They don't move. But at the same time, in Germany, I found out that experience is respected.
Yes.
So if you get experience outside, even you can come back to the same company as well. And there is a probability that you go outside, learn the ways, learn new experiences, learn new business ideas, and then you can bring back. So I left my old company at a very good note. I had a very good conversation with my employer, with my manager. I had a very good conversation with other people, with other colleagues I was working with. I had a very nice exit interview with my HR, and I was like, okay, I'm leaving it a very good note. I'm starting a new journey altogether. And that was the call I made. I was like, okay, I need to maybe start fresh to get to somewhere where I want to be. And it came with its own challenges. In Germany, I don't know if you know, but for people out there who really want to switch jobs, there is a thing called, when you are in a blue card here, it's called like the skilled visa we have. So when you are on a blue card here, you have this extra paper with it called Zusatzplatz, the additional sheet or additional document, which actually states the name of the company you are working for. So if you are not on a permanent residence, you're a PR, you have to get that name switched or changed. So you have to get the new Zusatzplatz from your welcome center, from your Ausländerbehörde, and then you have to submit that to your new company. I didn't know that at that time.
Okay.
So I was a bit scared at one moment that, okay, would I get that document in time? Because as we earlier discussed, the bureaucracy is here very slow.
Very slow.
So if old company is saying, okay, there is 3 months notice period, and the new company you are joining in 3 months, you have to realize the fact that, okay, isn't 3 months enough for getting the Zusatzplatz? Sometimes it can take more in some cities, in some regions.
Exactly.
So that is where I would say, if somebody is listening, they need to pay attention to, which I did eventually did pay attention to and get it sorted. And other than that, yes, in the new company, you have challenges of adhering to the new environment, getting new culture, new colleagues, getting to know them. And then this is a fast-paced professional world where you have to get ready for getting on to the new projects, new
you need to be adaptable.
Exactly, really quickly. Otherwise, you are lacking behind. So it was a journey in itself. It's experience.
I guess if you really, as a person, want to progress in your career, you need to let go of things and be selfish about it, right?
Yeah, sometimes that is the norm of the world.
Yeah.
That you have to be selfish. No matter how much we say, we live in a capitalistic world. So we have to put our aims, our goals, and our dreams
Yeah.
above the anything else. Yeah.
Well said. Yeah. Okay. So Tara, I am from India. You are from Pakistan. So I guess you already knew this was a question that I was about to ask, right? We are both working in Germany,
Yeah.
and in your opinion, in your experience, in your observations, for an average German, or let's say for an average European, do you see the difference that they think between Indians and Pakistanis, or do you think we are the one and the same, and we belong to just one South Asian umbrella, according to them?
I think I think the Europeans don't see a difference.
Yeah.
Even though one of the Europeans, like the British, actually the ones who divided us. It's kind of a sad thing to see that they are who divided us, but they don't see a difference between us.
Yeah.
I think they don't feel that there is a very drastic difference
Okay.
between us. They basically treat us the same way because somehow they get to understand that we speak the same language, even though there is Hindi, there is Urdu for our side. But given that we can speak to each other and understand each other, maybe it gives them a way that they both are from the kind of the same land.
Okay.
And I think they will put the Bangladesh in the same thing as well. I think it's whole this subcontinent which is being ruled by the British. They consider it as the same thing. Yeah, there is some perceptions about Pakistan they have. There is some perceptions they have about India as well. I know some about Pakistan for sure, but the point is, they if they meet you for the first time, and if I tell them, hi, my name is Talha, and they will be like, oh yeah, we are from India. It's not the first guess they would have that I'm from Pakistan. Obviously, my name is not very Indian name, so they won't instantly guess that.
Yeah.
But if I'm not giving them very obvious signals, the first thing they think about is, yeah, you might be from India.
Okay.
So they don't think a lot of differences between us.
And how about you? You must be having some perceptions of your own, right? You have now worked, you have Indian friends, you have worked with Indian expats, and you meet them on a daily basis. How about you? What do you think is the difference between the way these two nationalities live their lives, these two nationalities work, and their general culture? What are your perceptions and observations about it?
Yeah, it's a great question about you have asked, because when I first moved outside of Pakistan, I went to USA.
Yes.
So as I mentioned earlier, the diversity I see there was the first time I was experiencing that diversity. So my class, because I was an engineering student, and you must know that how much Indians are in an engineering college.
Yes.
So there is a hell lot of Indian students I was studying with, my classmates, my dorm mates, and I was playing sports with them, and so I didn't find any differences between us, even though we are divided by borders, and there is so much nuances that is being told to us that that there is a specific way the Indian thinks, and there is the same thing being told on the other side of the border, the way we are, like in Pakistan, the way we look, the way we speak. But it's not the same thing when you go abroad and you meet them in person. I remember the first time I went to a party in my campus. That was literally a Diwali party. In all the Indian students have gathered around, and how they were celebrating, dancing, and given that there is so much Bollywood influence in Pakistan, so you already, half of your personality is already there, influenced by the Bollywood. So you know the culture there, you know the people, how they talk, how they behave. Maybe you don't have the exposure towards the south of India that much, but because of the northern part of Bollywood, you are so much influenced by. But even then, you have so much understanding of the space. I even once introduced myself as an Indian to one of my Indian student, and he was like, yeah, where you from? And I was like, yeah, I'm from Delhi.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. And just I didn't want to speak in Hindi because my dialect would be straight away. He would identify. He would identify I'm speaking Urdu, but I just spoke in English, and I was like, yeah, I'm from India. And then I just used my Bollywood and Indian movie knowledge to just roam around that where I live in India, where I'm from. So yeah, it's a fun thing. Can you imagine, like, if you are from Pakistan, you always think, oh, an Indian person will be a different person altogether, very stereotypical, thinks very anti-Pakistan, but it's not like that. Obviously, every country has their good and bad people, but the point is, when you move abroad, you find out how they are, how nice it is to meet them, how nice it is to get the perspective of their side, and also the perspective they have about you, because you're basically an ambassador of your country in another country. So that's the way I see it now, because I had a very fun memories. I have a very good amount of people who are not only the people I know, who are my friends actually, and they are actually from India. And I would love to go to India one day if I have ever had a chance, and if the relationships gets improved between our country, because there's so many memories I have while watching these more Bollywood movies about the places I want to be or see. It's amazing.
That's a very enlightening experience, because I kind of share the same feeling, the same experience. And of course, there are some bad apples out there, but you do not get to, let's say, judge the entire nation based on those. So it's a very well said thing, Tala.
Yeah, that's the only one place where, even though I'm very good friends with my Indian friends in Germany, in US, but it's always about a cricket match. Whenever it's India versus Pakistan, you have to be like, oh, what if, what if my country wins? That whole patriotism of yours just comes out,
and I think that just inborn, right? And that's always gonna happen.
Exactly.
But that's just in a friendly, sportly spirit. It's nothing more than that, nothing less than that.
And I believe, even though I'm a Pakistani and all these Indian viewers of yours listening, you guys have to understand how much we love Shah Rukh Khan and how much we respect Virat Kohli. There is not a lot of Pakistanis who hate Virat Kohli, even though he scored so much against us. There is a huge amount of respect for Virat Kohli and an admiration and love for Shah Rukh Khan in Pakistan.
That's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tara, just before wrapping up this podcast, I wanted to ask just my final question. What advice would you give to somebody, let's say somebody from Pakistan, who is thinking of coming to Germany, either as a student or either as a working professional? What this person should keep in his mind or in her mind, so that the move is comfortable enough?
Yeah, I would say, as a student, I have very limited insights, but still, I would, with my friends' experience, I would say one of the things is very important right now, is that you have a bit of understanding of German culture and German language itself. I would not say that you have to be like very professional in it, like basic introduction to German, like how to get to the places. That's one thing. And the other thing about as a student, which is very important, is you try to find out the good schools in Germany, because there are many, and at the same time they are either free or they have a very limited amount of fee. So this public university. I would say that's my advice, is to target them, because these universities have a good experience in terms of teaching, and at the same time there is a higher probability of you landing up for a good company, because the companies comes as a recruiter there. So that is very helpful. So that's one thing I would say. And the other thing which I would say is, don't stress out that much about the blocked amount, because people do, because right now I think that since I came, it's been a long, like I didn't come to Germany, but since my friends came, it's a long time, couple of 10 years or more. The amount of depreciation of our currency happened, that has created a big difference in terms of blocked amount that used to be and that is now. So don't stress out about that, because I found out in Germany there is a lot of people who do part-time jobs when they land here as a student. So it covers up for you, and it helps you. There is not 100% that you have to live by the blocked amount you come with.
Exactly.
It's a good thing to have, because it's your cover. It's a protection you have. But the point is, don't get too scared by it. I think still within Europe, Germany is the best place to be. Not only from the perspective of education, but in terms of the employment itself as well. And the working people who are coming here directly on a work visa, I would definitely say that the visa process has improved drastically now. The skilled visa is being approved within a couple of weeks, so it's already very good. And the second thing which I will advise them is come with your partner if you already have, because now the German embassy gave them the freedom to apply for both the husband and the wife, or either partners, whoever has the job and the partner itself. So both of them apply in the same visa application for the work visa and the FRV, the family union visa, together. So that is also a good advice, because at my time it was not there.
Yeah.
But if you don't do that, then you get stuck in this
waiting
list and the whole processing problem. So don't do that. And yeah, apart from that, yeah, the same advice for the working people: learn a bit of German, be very open with your German colleagues, talk to them, go out with them on, maybe if they're going for a drink and you don't drink even, just go out with them, because there will be nobody forcing you.
Yeah.
Just sit with them, learn how they chat, what is the cultural nuances they have,
Yeah.
and that will help you a long way.
Yeah, that's a very good advice. Tala, I want to thank you for sharing your experiences. I've had a great time. I hope you had too, and I hope your wife get a visa as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I hope to meet her as well when she is here.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, it was. I really want to thank you for inviting me to share my journey, to share my experience. It's a bit of an odd experience comparatively to the other maybe people who are here. But I was really happy that you invited me and let me share my journey. Let me share my experiences, and hopefully, yes, soon my wife will be here as well.
Yeah, of course. Germany is often sold as a land of systems and logic, but as we have heard today, it's the human resilience behind the scenes that truly makes the move successful. From long legal battles to the long wait for family, our guest's journey proves that while the bureaucracy is tough, your voice and your persistence are even tougher. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.